And the sniper in particular, because his damage is a little bit weak, and he's also very reliant on attack speed, shot early on. Medusa is a hero that is very infamous for having very poor damage for a really long time. So the fact that they were able to set out this whole entire strategy up with both Ogre as well as the core Vengeful Spirit, I really like the way that Seek pulled this whole entire draft together, and it does feel like there's a lot more credibility to a carry when you got these two kind of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still got question marks in my head about the Ursa pick and what it's intending to do this game. Even before the Medusa pick, I was like, well, Ursa's not great against Puck or Weaver. I mean, I guess the Weaver's going to be a support, so that's one thing slightly going his way. But even a core Venge, I don't think of Ursa like, oh yeah, that's the kind of core you want against a Venge. So, I mean, Na'Vi just have to have this idea that they can beat Secret by winning the lanes and like snowballing and getting Roche control. That to me is like that's what this Ursa pick says, because it does not work in this game as like a counter to Secret. So it must be something that Na'Vi think suits their style.
So Na'Vi just kind of focusing on their own drafts and their own kind of play style against Secret. Yep. Secret definitely going to be playing the longer game here with the Medusa for sure. poor River, look at this guy. Puppy's been on his ass this whole entire time. Now General is going to be receiving a face full of flaming garbage. Ogre Magi, Ignite does a decent amount of damage. They're actually just going to go back and activate a base shrine since both at half HP and TP out. But it is going to be an aggro tri-lane coming out from Secret. Na'Vi are dodging it. They've already put Pycat up at the top lane again. Kezu.
Dendi mid taking early harass, so this is annoying for him. Means he's gone into level 1 blink, doesn't have that Shadow Strike harass, so already you can see how this mid matchup is not going to be all too favorable for Dendi. And this laning setup's looking fairly good for Team Secret. Like, they've set up so that bottom lane is really hard to lane in against this Ogre Venge. Top lane Puck's going to get... I mean, there's not really any kill threat onto this Puck, at least currently. So all three lanes should be pretty good for Secret.
I love this this aggressive ward that they got down. Not only is it going to be able to scout rotations and not get countered, right? It's going to be able to see some of the support rotations into mid lane and give mid one the heads up that he kind of needs in the early laning phase, and also give him a little bit idea of what General's up to as he has been forced into Radiant Jungle since tri-lane / dual lane scenario. It's just tough. An axe, and generally this hero does jungle efficiently.
It looks like Na'Vi didn't see these lanes coming. Like, General has Tengos and he had double Salve, which I think that the items to jungle is still the Iron Talon, so he must have been expecting a 1v1 against the Puck down bottom, and then they would just like go top with this Ursa Rubik and like try and hold their own. Like, they weren't going to win with that aggro lane on Na'Vi's side, but they can at least be annoying. Pilot has come in though, and he's messing with General, so...
He took one of the small centaurs too.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be taking half the experience of the... Rubik's gonna have to pull double duty here, help out General as well as Dendi, but it's an Ogre. Not much you can really do against this hero. Naturally tanky. Pycat getting a couple right clicks here onto Kezu in the top lane, but as you said, there really shouldn't be much kill potential. They're even gonna have Puppy here pulling in, so actually going to make this lane even harder for Pycat to work around.
Yeah, the good news for Na'Vi is they're getting a little bit more out of the map since they have a pseudo jungler, and RMM was sitting bottom, getting XP, getting a couple CS, so they are getting a little bit extra in terms of overall farm, but the lanes being lost doesn't feel like it's overall worth it. With that said, mid lane is currently going a little bit better. Dendi getting the help from the Rubik has helped harass mid one down fairly low here, so...
Alright, Pycat picked up a haste rune. Death to Pyle die. Oh man, I like that pickup, man. They're just like, nah, screw Py. Screw his shenanigans in the jungle. Yeah. He's messing everything up. He's being a constant threat to General. Let's use this haste rune to kick him the hell out.
Did he TP in with the haste rune, like from top, or was he just already rotating bottom?
He TP'd in. He TP'd into the shrine.
Okay. Well, that's a useful play. I think they were planning on rotating Py down bottom anyways, or Pyka that is.
Yeah.
Given the laning step, I don't think it was all too favorable for Na'Vi. They want this Axe versus Puck matchup. Puck doesn't really threaten the Axe all too much. It does a little bit more now because Puck has a level advantage, but this is the laning step Na'Vi were hoping for with their initial move out. Now they've actually got it. They are a little bit behind though, in terms of overall levels and farm.
Like this Puppy, if he comes back to this aggro tri lane, I'm pretty sure they still easily outlane this scenario for Na'Vi. They try and get a pull off. Nice wave of terror out there from MP to actually pull right back to him. So they continue a very nice creep equilibrium that forces Na'Vi forward. Very much potential danger. Potential spirit for early being present. One of the things that I love the core Vengeful Spirit here is because it's so nice and aggressive and powerful early on that it really does cover some of the...
Yeah, and this is a bench that's happy to be in a 3v3 lane, has the early levels, has boot wand, now a Bassi ring. Like, this is a perfect setup for MP to be in a 3v3 type lane. So I definitely agree. If Puppy wants to come back down bottom, it is a lane that Secret will have the edge in. It's just whether or not they feel, and I think that's what Na'Vi kind of want. They want General to have a straight 1v1 if possible. They want Queen of Pain Dendi to be somewhat uncontested in his 1v1. And so far, he doesn't seem to be too clear where he wants to go. He is lurking around this bottom lane, so it does seem like he is going to make the play down here.
Going to Pycat here, double stuns already up. Pycat is going to slow down some of his pursuers here with the clap, but they need a little bit more damage. Unfortunately, the bugs did not latch on to Pycat. He will manage to get away, but still they force him back. Healing salves and clarities to be... He also had magic. Definitely good.
Yeah. Yeah, Puppy waited for that double stun initiation, just couldn't quite close the gap fast enough. And Na'Vi with Pycat healing up with the clarity. They could look to try and turn around some of this aggression, but similarly, Pilotai, he's got mana coming his way. It looks like Puppy's just going to wander off, get some wards down, and see what else he can get done around this bottom lane. Looking for a courier, perhaps?
Yeah, he was. He spotted out the courier because of the aggressive ward. Na'Vi, similarly, they spotted Puppy heading towards the courier and pulled the base. Couldn't be found here. Man, everywhere I look, it's just like Na'Vi losing. You know, their tri-lane is like hiding underneath the tower. Dendi's forced to play back because this big snake has now gotten very dangerous and it keeps on backing to him over and over again.
Radiant's top
Out of his
tower
mana,
is under
and
attack.
the general is playing jungle half the time. That's really the right light. Roster Cat maybe on here, stunned up, and he is going to be able to get close enough. Telekinesis actually pushed him back. They now have a stun. They're going to try and finish off Pilotai. Now Pycat is probably giving up his life for this one, but at least they do get the kill. Now the Orban from the Kezu will stop Bibber's TP out with the coil and make that a 2-for-1.
Alright. I mean, Pycat making sure he gets the kill before he goes down, and the Puck TP and only secures a Rubik. I feel like that's not quite worth Kezu's rotation because he was actually having a really good time against this Axe up top. Axe was being pushed back in the jungle. Because Kezu had that early treads, it was a pretty tough lane for him, so Kezu wants to get more out of this movement, and he is now swinging through mid lane to see what he can do to Dendi.
Dendi's just always out of mana. They're just going straight for him, and even the infused raindrop is not enough and to be able to win this game of harassment.
Is under attack.
Really feels like Pycat, there's just no good lane for him. He TP's top as soon as he respawns, like, alright, there's a tri-lane bottom and Puck's TP'd in. This top lane looks like a good place to get some farm and levels, but again, he's just he's taking a long time to come online, and Ursa being a snowball hero, you don't want to see him have a bad laning stage, and that's exactly what's happening right now for Pycat.
Down the bottom. Dendi, this is where he's going to pick up his level 6 apparently. He could be leaving Minwan alone at the mid lane and collecting some of this. I guess Dendi, being the most mobile hero, is probably the best to go against aggro tri-lane that was running. Of course, now the supports are kind of all over the place. Puppy sitting in the Radiant jungle near mid. Pilotai on higher side. Also approaching that mid lane. Want to make sure that mid one is safe with some of these heroes off map.
It feels like a lot of lane swapping that doesn't necessarily advance Na'Vi. Kezu caught out at top, but he's gone.
They needed that instant crush while the telekinesis pullback was still happening, and they managed to get the call, and there was not the right kind of coordination from Na'Vi to claim it like that.
Puppy's able to stop Dendi getting the bounty rune and force him back to base. Everything coming up Team Secret right now. And normally you think like, okay, they're swapping their lanes, they want to turn them into more like advantageous lanes, but they're going from like really bad lanes to still pretty bad lanes. They will snipe the courier with this smoke rotation.
Don't gaze. Is going to be able to go off fast enough? It is. Pylai Die will be saved by that ultimate. And the rest of Na'Vi can't actually chase him down. But a courier was definitely a great pickup. If that whole entire rotation, that could have just happened, that smoke rotation by Na'Vi, and they could have just failed to pick up anything.
Yeah. The courier is the bigger kill than the ogre anyways, as far as income goes for your team. Does come at the cost. MP getting tons of space in this bottom lane, takes an early tower. Just like MP and KheZu just have all the room in the world to just do whatever they want this game. If they want to TP and rotate, they can get kills for their team. But alternatively, they're probably like telling the team like, look, if you guys can just hold your own in your lanes, I'm going to get this tower, or I'm just free farming away. KheZu can get a fast blink dagger and probably be like level 9, level 10 potentially, and have a lot of really strong rotation potential. So this laning setup is looking really good for Secret right now. They're going to hit a very strong mid-game spike here based on how much they've won this early game.
A top 3 CS on Team Secret and are occupying the top 3 most of the time. Spots, Puck and Medusa. Pretty much neck and neck with Ursa, but it's a Vengeful Spirit who's pulling way out ahead. MP has been free farming for days. Vengeful Spirit is going to be a very dangerous threat going into the mid game with all this.
Yep, just a short bit of gold away from that Helm of the Dominator, and then things get very problematic with that extra that he can help protect himself with or play aggressive with. So mid lane Dendi. Yeah, they can go a mid one here, but that is not particularly close. I mean, the TP in, if there wasn't an ogre behind mid one, may have been a potential threat, but I think for Na'Vi, you're just really eyeing off this Axe Blink Dagger. He's rushing it. I think Na'Vi recognized, I mean, I think he was going to go this build regardless whether the lanes went poorly or not, but he is going to be the key game changer for them. When they get this Blink Dagger up, they need to start making rotations to kill core heroes. Like, this Venge is getting away with way too much down bottom. Same for Puck up top. You need the Queen of Pain and Axe to team up, go for a smoke rotation immediately upon picking up the Blink.
Yeah, big part of it is just the secret cores, right? You can't fight into this Vengeful Spirit early on, and then the Puck they didn't have any kill power against, so everything's banked on this Blink Dagger of General, and see if he can make the right kind of initiates to turn this thing. Now, mid one, oh man, he was kind of low mana, but then he got a pretty decent Mystic Tank. Now they're going to make their initiation on multiple heroes, try and blow up mid one before he gets off the mana shield, and they do get him. Now a second one, Highlight Die also goes down. Puppy got to receive the shot from General here. KheZu comes in and does manage to get a turnaround kill. MP and KheZu dueling up here against 3. RMN misses out on the crush, and they will not pursue into Secret. More than happy with a 1-for-3 exchange. We said this Blink Dagger is everything to Na'Vi, and General did accomplish just that.
Yeah, it was. I think Secret themselves were in a strong position around that mid tower. They had Venge invised up. Level 9 Venge, very scary at this stage because of how farmed she is. Similarly, the Puck Blink Dagger had been picked up as well. Secret themselves were at a power spike there. The difference is, it's Na'Vi who get the initiation. Whoever jumps first there is going to win that fight. If Venge is able to get a stun out of the invis to burst down the Queen of Pain, that Axe Blink Dagger doesn't achieve what it does there, because there's no Queen of Pain Sonic Wave, there's no Scream, but it's Na'Vi who take the initiative, get the jump, and Secret were just kind of sitting around. You can't really bait against the Blink Dagger because you're going to lose that Medusa before anything can happen. And perhaps if Venge was in position to swap Medusa out, it could have been different, but that Medusa dropped so fast.
I mean, what about something as simple as him having mana shield?
That could have made a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was hitting tower. He could have just had the mana shield up and been good, but didn't expect that instant initiation. Now, Secret have made a smoke rotation in. They got a successful scan, but what they don't expect is Na'Vi are so grouped up here, may still win it anyway. The enrage goes off from Pycat, but he's kind of stuck inside the trees with a bug on top of him too. Now coiled up. All of that is going to be little Pycat down, so they managed to get that one. Mid one is going to be the target of a rotation of General once again, but this time with the mana shield up, it seems pretty unlikely they'll be able to.
Yeah, maybe was perhaps oversight from mid one last time not having it online. There's not really any reason they didn't need to save his mana for an ulti Mystic Snake. He had more than enough mana for mana shield and to use one of those spells. So as it stands, it's some space for Iron Man. He's going to just watch Pycat go down while he gets some bump towards his Blink Dagger up top. We'll see if Na'Vi, probably waiting that Sonic Wave cooldown, look to make another aggressive maneuver now. General has Blink Dagger. He's just going to camp around this top lane. And this is actually looking like a potential tier 1 tower. And yeah, with Dendi and Bibba's rotations up here, this is pretty much an impossible position to defend. Pycat, though, is in no man's land. You should not be down here when you've got four teammates pushing up top and the enemy's missing from the map. So yeah, he needs to vacate this bottom lane.
His
team takes off.
That's the bad part about these Medusa lineups when you're facing them. It's not like it's a clear push that you have to defend. It's always present, right? That chip damage is always there. So even though Na'Vi are hitting these, they're beginning to hit some of these timings for the mid game, they're still losing these towers just by simple small rotations. Nice initiation for General. A two-man call leading to the Sonic Wave. Mid-1 will survive through it initially, but doesn't have enough mana for the Stone Gauge, so he can't actually repel Na'Vi. Na'Vi get the opportunity to just run over whatever heroes they can. They've already picked up 2 bolt cores from Secret. Now they're looking for support as well. Puppey is dusted up. They're going to be able to get the Pro to Haze and the call, so Puppey doesn't have a chance for a time lapse there. 3 down on the side of Secret. Another big turnaround here from Na'Vi. The execution just seems to be their favor, as every single one of these fights is about a 1,500 to 2,000 gold exchange.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good reason why Na'Vi, through all their struggles with some of their past rosters, everyone was always hyping up General. And everyone, whenever you talk about Na'Vi going into a series, you're like, they got to play around General. This is the guy who can win them games. This is the one player of Na'Vi who is like the X factor. Similar to like maybe what DJ was for Fnatic. This guy has been phenomenal. These 2 initiations he's had, the timings when he's gone for them have been perfect. Hitting both the Venge and the Medusa there in that blink call was crucial. Perhaps a bit of a misplay by Secret by positioning them such that could happen, but still fantastic from General. He will go down in mid lane though. Not so fantastic. We cursed him a little bit there, but all in all, like Na'Vi, these team fights are exactly what they need. They time it. They get an Aegis off of that successful fight at bottom while Secret are kept busy, and suddenly they've got 2 good team fights in a row. Pycat's got some decent farm. He's now going to have a Blink Dagger soon, and Na'Vi can look to take another fight once they've got Sonic Wave back up again.
He get caught trying to be aggressive, trying to create space for that Aegis. Down, but well worth it. Level 12 Ursa with an Aegis. Blink Dagger coming in, Helmet Dominator. Got initiation across the board now, and Secret are probably going to have to play a lot more grouped up, which means they're not going to... The first 10 minutes of this game, it was a very nice static laning phase where everyone was split apart, all their lanes are good, but now they're very rapidly going to see, I die here, that with all these Blink Daggers coming in, Secret don't really stand a chance if they split apart. They're going to have to group up more, and that's just going to be... I think Vengeful Spirit's farm is going to slow down quite a bit because Medusa is probably going to be the primary farm.
I mean, Venge was top of the net worth by a good 1,000 gold at one point, but that has quickly ceased to be the case here as Na'Vi going the aggressive with a smoke, and Kezu.
Kezu's phase shift is level 2, so lasted just long enough, but he doesn't manage to get away from that intense physical damage thanks to Corrosive Haze.
Yeah, this is Na'Vi just picking them off one by one, and this is, I think a lot goes back to the draft and the Na'Vi playstyle. They'll put RMN and General both on Playmakers. They like to have these like dual initiators, not just be relying on one person, and Secret themselves only have Kezu for that role. And Puck is just not really that reliable of an initiator compared to a Slider or an Axe. You get an instant pickup with the Slider or the Axe. The Puck, you blink, you Dream Call, there's possibility of a counterplay because that hero is not stunned for all too long.
I love that. The way that Na'Vi set that up, right? They go for this initiation without a smoke. They just straight up run into the lane while it was dark and link in with this fresh Blink Dagger, a Pycat, get a quick kill. And then they show a couple of heroes, but they still smoke up. They still move aggressively, something that Secret very clearly were unprepared for as they're just trying to figure, hey, Na'Vi, they picked off one. They're probably going to go for a top lane push, and we're just going to farm our jungle in the meantime. But that extra bit of aggression from Na'Vi that is very rapidly becoming this new squad signature style does catch Secret off guard, and as a result, ended up with a core kill. More pressure onto this mid tower, which they desperately need to take, right? This is one of the keys to unlocking some of the dire jungle that are benefiting from.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see if Na'Vi want to make a kind of aggressive play around this mid lane. NP very tanky. 1800 HP at 18 minutes in. Holy crap, that is unbelievable. Venge, what a hero. This is why you play the Venge as a core.
And you've got a lot of armor to back that up too, because you are an agility hero. So then they do have some very aggressive wards, so I believe some of this has been scouted. RMN doesn't actually see Pylai die. They can kind of walk past each other. RMN will zip away with his sprint, but seeing to bottom, they're going to try and put pressure on mid now with their 3 heroes. Silence. You have to be a little bit careful here. There is an opportunity for an instant stun if they get a coil and swap at the same time. Paikai could be in a bad position, but General's there with the recourse. They managed to get a call onto MP, but he's too tanky. Now mid one right in the middle of all this with the Stone Gaze. Paikai has to turn and fight, but there goes that Aegis, and there goes General too. The initiator's down. RMN's pushed away. That's going to be another form of initiation that's going to be missing for Na'Vi. Fortunately, they do manage to get the Ursa out with a quick blink after the Aegis revive, but it's still a nasty engagement. They really wanted to take that mid lane tower, but Secret denied them that.
Yeah, MP again, his tankiness coming into play there, and mid one showing up at the perfect time with the Stone Gaze. Really good usage. As soon as Na'Vi engage in you with the Ursa, you've got to pop that, and the result of that is General instantly dies. General's relying on that blink follow-up from the Ursa, the Slaughter, even a Queen of Pain blink in. Na'Vi have 4 blink gap closing heroes, and they want to just try and overrun Secret with numbers. Like when they get that first kill, suddenly there's 4 heroes on you and there's no counterplay possible. But by instantly stone gazing, Ursa gets forced back. Even with an Aegis, he can't just let himself get stone gazed up. There's no point in that. You're not going to get the kill. So Secret able to take out General, and without General alive, that fight gets very, very tricky.
Wonder how many smokes Na'Vi have left. They don't have any in their inventory, but does kind of feel like they were operating on smoke ganks before, and they got themselves
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
team fights and a few pickoffs that were quite notable, and get some good map control back. But these kind of just more straight face plays, especially because of the fact that Secret has good, strong, like aggressive wards that are able to see a lot of these rotations before even close to Secret. Does seem like the Na'Vi rotations are being read by Secret when they're smoked, and as a result being countered.
Yeah, I think the other big thing is both Medusa and Venge at this point, where smoke ganks and rotations aren't just going to kill them. Now with a Manta Style and an extra ulti orb, mid one is very tanky. Same for MP. He's getting incredibly tanky himself on the bench. And once Puppey has an Aghanim Scepter, I think the ability to blink in and burst one hero down just gets taken away, and that's where Na'Vi's draft perhaps struggles to kind of function in a team fight setting. They can't really initiate easily on Secret unless they're initiating on Puppey himself.
The thing is, they need some extra damage. Their initiation. General's trying to finish up a blade mail, but it's going to be swapped back here. Secret, well, but Keza kind of blinks a little bit too far forward. General does manage to get off the call, survives for a while, but will still end up going down. No extra disables needed. More TPs out. Favor should be able to make it. Pop by the, oh, Coil just half second late there. Kezu decently fast on the reactions from the bug catch, but not good enough.
That should help.
Yeah, well, the end of the world for Secret, who was back off, defend some of these lanes. Pika needs to not get caught out here as they get de-warded, but Na'Vi looks like we'll just play some efficiency game up top. It will be a Deso as Pike's next major item. Interesting option. Good synergy with all the minus armor from the Slaughter, but not the typical Ursa pickup you'd expect.
I think it's required here in this game because they don't really have a building hitter, right? And they have to close out this game sometime soon because it is Ursa. So I think in many ways Pycat doesn't have the other options. He's got to go for pick up these. He has to go for offensive items for damage, or for building hitting. No one else is going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think with the fact that Iron Man and General are both playing initiators, there's no damage coming from them. It's only Dendi who has damage output, and if Sonic Wave's on cooldown, like, how do you take a fight? Like, where's your damage coming from? So yeah, the Deso makes total sense. He'll go back for the Aghanim Scepter afterwards, but I think, yeah, an item like this almost feels like a necessity for Na'Vi to be able to scale, and not even scale to the late game, but just scale into this mid game to be able to kill heroes like Medusa, Venge, and see what Secret can do. This is not looking good for Pycat.
Wards. Wow, Pycat. Yeah, the read from the mid lane. Maybe he spotted something from the mid lane creeps or something. Does manage to blink away. Sick
reaction from him, and Na'Vi will look to trade top lane for mid lane. They may not even lose mid. And if Secret want to stop this tower push from coming, they'll just have to TP back and forego pushing at the moment. And yeah, it looks like that's going to be the call.
Probably for the best. They're about to finish up that Scott. That will be huge. Many of these heroes, they have the initiation, but as we've said, they don't have the damage to pop many of these heroes, and then they'll have a hard time getting out of the fight once that Scotty's up on mid one.
So next Roshan becomes key for both teams, but much more so Na'Vi, like who can't let Secret get the next Aegis and really want it themselves on Ursa. Like you've got this Desolator build, you're very squishy, your impact in a fight is very volatile. Like the difference between doing 0 damage in a fight or doing the most damage in a fight can just be one stun or having an extra life. So getting Pike at an Aegis becomes a high priority for Na'Vi, but it's more about the how, not the if you can get it.
MP's in an awkward position here. He may be caught by these shrine rotations. Pykat's not going to turn around though. He just keeps on marching forward. Goes for highlight die because RMN's in the back line. They do also catch MP, but that blade mail is going to do a decent amount of damage. They've caught highlight die, but the stone case is turning them away from MP, who managed to get the swap back. Viver, a free pick off there. Pykat still trying to lay waste to the back lines there, but it's going to be coiled up and now kited around. He will end up going down here to mid one as they turn. RMN also being caught, and Dendi, having very little impact in that team fight, was not able to line up a good Sonic Wave with such a disjointed two-sided fight.
Yeah, it got split up perfectly by that stone gaze. Like Ursa just ignored the Medusa because he was behind her, so just kept right-clicking the backlines. But that was initially just an Ogre, and then it was Puppy on the Weaver. You're not going to kill a Weaver as an Ursa. You're always going to get kited around. The Shikuchi, the time-lapse, there's zero way to kill Puppy there. And as you kind of mentioned, Dendi not really being able to get himself into that fight, line up a Sonic Wave, meant that the initiation was kind of wasted. They couldn't bring down MP, and Secret pick up those next couple of items. The Skadi is there. MP has a Hurricane Pike back at base and is going to go back for a Solar Crest. This is an item that can completely cripple Pykat, so it's going to be very, very tough for this Ursa in these upcoming fights, getting kited around, getting Solar Crested up. I think Na'Vi know. They're smoking up, perhaps hoping... No, they know Roche is up in the next 45 seconds because that's the max respawn time, but it is that max respawn. That's where they will unfortunately not be so lucky.
I think it's going to result in nothing. RMN gets the smoke pop. Now going to be swapped back by MP straight into a stun. Puppy activates the shrine, thinking, if the fight's coming to me, I'll need a little bit of extra HP and mana to work with. And now Na'Vi, with that smoke, thinking they were trying to challenge Roshan, have just given it away potentially with 40 seconds left on RMN and only a few seconds left on the Roshan.
Yeah. Nice that it is definitely more interesting to have that kind of dynamic Roche timer because it makes it so much harder to plan some of these plays. You kind of got to roll the dice a bit, and if you're behind, you can't just say, all right, we smoked the second Roche's respawn. You don't know when it respawns, so when you're in this disadvantageous position as Na'Vi, you've got to take a risk, and that risk does not pay off there. Roche wasn't up for Pykat. If it was up, he could have just taken Roche while his team just sat around the pit smoked up, waiting to see if Secret came in and used like your positional advantage, but there was no Roche. Iron Man goes for a too aggressive of a play on the high ground, and they get punished, so game continues to go south for Na'Vi, and that Roche could potentially be taken by Secret. They've got minus armor from Venge as well as Weaver, plenty of damage output to kill it if they want to.
Pykat's all in.
Right.
Not that 2-2, I guess.
I'm TP out now.
Die for his sins. Well, maybe Na'Vi can get another tower off of that. They forced a lot of rotations with that because they probably thought there's no way Pykat's committing like this without some backup. So now most of the heroes are on the top half of the map, and they're going to try and go for a bottom lane push while Roshan being taken by.
Yeah, getting a tier 1 or something would be at least nice, but they've lost all map control. All their outer towers, the shrines were starting to fall. It was Na'Vi who are losing their top shrine by Roshan. Before Secret's like, wait a second, let's just TP back and get these kills, but yeah, this is going to be tough. If they really want, they could defend bottom, but it doesn't look like Medusa has any interest in TPing in. Doesn't even have a TP scroll currently, so we'll just make the long walk towards this bottom lane. Na'Vi Secret not really in any rush right now. Like their lineup's going to scale fantastically. Like they're stronger right now, they've got the Aegis and all, but they don't have to try and end this game necessarily. If anything, they're better off just shutting down some of the Na'Vi progression and playing it a bit safer until they're sure they can get that high ground push happening.
Shrines being out. There's shrine left now for Radiant Sign. away from Navi. Navi are looking to be able to catch something because they know the Medusa is bottom, but they just can't quite get there, in fact.
And Medusa's already back now.
Now Medusa keeping on the shrine. Secret will begin their turn. They're going to get some combo stuns here onto Pycat. RMN's going to interrupt that one. Does manage to get a decent crush, but now caught in a two-man coil. Kenzu makes sure that two of them will end up going down. Viver
Worthy
caught next to RMN. So both the supports down to Navi. Now a push will ensue.
Shrine's a pretty big change to the way the Dota 2 is played out now. You've lost both your top towers, you've lost your mid-tier 1, yet Medusa is still able to TP back in, not directly in the fight, but very close to the fight after pushing out the bottom lane, and is in a position to join the team for a high ground push with both supports dead. Navi trying to get some scraps of farm in the middle and the bottom side of the map. General has 2.7k gold, but at this point may just need buyback for this high ground defense, and I don't even know if Navi can defend this one.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Like, no matter what happens, they're going to be crippled. If they can defend this, they will have lost most of their control. Hard to gain that back. General's going to come in with his Shadow Blade, try to go for the back lines here. With Shadow Blade and the Blink Dagger, but they do have the counter vision. He managed to blink away from that one, but now swap back in. His initiation going to be a little futile now as he gets right click apart. RMN also going to be caught here. Nice activation of the shrine by Viver, while Pycat goes for some of the side heroes, but can't finish any of them off. There's too many force stats, too many swaps, too many problems for him to lock down these very mobile heroes. And now Mid-1 just keeps on marching forward. He's got half the mana, still has Aegis, has that Solar Crest to be able to work off of, and all of Secret is sitting behind him, waiting to go.
There's the time lapse
activated by Puppey onto Mid-1.
16-second cooldown. Like, yeah, just to give him like an extra 300 mana. Puppey time lapses. They lose Kenzu though.
That's something. Denny's gonna keep on moving forward here. They kind of ignore Denny. Just go ahead and keep on right-clicking down Pycat. MP make sure he continues to kite that hero. Puppey, oh, he gets taken apart there with the enrage activated by Pycat. He does the extra damage necessary. Sonic Wave hits a little bit there. Does manage to finish off MP. Pycat desperately needs to get away though. It does have a Blink Dagger up. He's good. Now they're trying to run. They can actually pursue. Especially with RMN, they're going to be able to catch Pylai Die here. Mid-1 is going to turn and fight as best he can, but I'm not sure if Mid-1 can, though. He is going to be able to pick up one and is going to be brought down. The problem is on his second life, he's not going to be receiving any help. Navi are actually going to buy back on RMN just to make sure that Mid-1 can't actually escape. Give the approach of Haze, and Pycat's just waiting and waiting and waiting until he can make his initiation. General almost dies here for Shadow Blade activated. Now the enrage with the damage coming in. Mid-1 pops the Manta. Maybe he can still pick up a couple more kills here. General gets the call. He gets one. He was so close to picking up 2 or 3 more. He almost 1v4'd the rest of Navi.
That was exciting to watch. I'm watching this like, is he actually gonna 1v4? That startup buyback, really good call from Iron Man. Recognize, alright, this Deuce is about to respawn with Butterfly, full HP, full mana. My Axe can't fight, my Ursa can't fight. I've got to buy back to stop the Deuce keeping out and make sure we get this kill, which will at least salvage this high ground defense into a slightly acceptable and still playable position. But that was some hold from Navi. Like, the fact they're still in this game is a big surprise to me.
Goes to show, first of all, I think we learned from that top lane engagement, that really awkward one where they half ignored NP. And Pycat jumped forward. They can't split their damage up. They have to utilize the small bit of disables that they have and the burst damage of the earth to focus one hero down. And that's what they did in the winning part of that engagement, right? They blink in, they kill Kez really quickly.
Yes.
And then they kind of
And you can't even react with a time lapse. Like, he had time lapse up, it was just too fast.
Silence onto 2. Armin and Dendi going to be caught inside the coil, but now General managed to get a call. If they can continue to lock down Puppey, this would be a big kill, but none of their disables can get there in time. Viver did not have the Blink Dagger up, so Secret will manage to escape. Navi unable to get... they really needed a pick-off so they can maintain some sort of aggressive force. Mid-1 was dead, but that's not going to be the case here, and losing that.
Yeah. It's a bit of an interesting, go back to the Shadow Blade General, interesting little pickup. I feel like he got really unlucky with that Sentry Ward top lane. Like, yeah, teams are often going to push for the Sentry, but up until that point, Navi had no invis. So that Sentry in lane was purely to scout out, like, a high ground observer ward or something. It's like, it wasn't even in a position to scout out the high ground observer ward, which teams often have when they're defending high ground. So I feel like that was a pretty good play of his to pick up a Shadow Blade to try invis into that fight. Secret just happened to be ready for it with a Sentry Ward, despite there being no invis.
General knows he can't just go on the Medusa, right? He's got to get the back line. That's been a problem for most of Na'Vi. It's why these smoke initiations are oftentimes the most successful. Not sure if this one's going to be, though. They're going to go on a pylon dive first. Swap back. Ally MPs right in the middle of all these heroes. So is Mid-Wan, though. He immediately goes and targets General first with all this damage. Good Sonic Wave. The back lines. Pycat does manage to kill Pylon Die. He now focuses on Kezu. Can't quite get him, though. Too mobile. And he's now locked in by the Dream Coil. RMN tries to come in, give him some relief. The Crush comes in a bit too late, though. 70 seconds on the clock for Pycat. RMN, a similar scenario here. General comes in with the Blade Belt, does manage to finish off MP, and Mid-One's running out of mana. But do they have the damage to finish him off? A little bit more of a juke, and they get him. Finally, General's Blood's managed to bring him down with the Culling Blade. They're going to pursue for more now with the Shadow Blade and Blink Dagger. Puppy gets spotted out. Shikuchi stolen by Biver, but he is too quick, and it looks like Kezu is going to be able to get away from Dendi as well. Another surprising engagement. The smoke push out by Na'Vi does result in a pretty deep trade-off.
It's one of those things, if Na'Vi can keep buying time, I feel like they've got one last good peak for their lineup. I don't think they're going to win the super late game, but if they can get Dendi to level 25, get that spell lifesteal going with an Octarine Core, and the other item I think is the Aghanim Scepter on Pycat's Earth. So if they can get those two things happening, they'll reach another kind of decent power spike where perhaps they'll be able to fight into Team Secret. If they can keep getting these jumps on the back lines, ideally the Weaver, the other big hero is the Puck, as you kind of saw in that high ground defense earlier. If you can kill these heroes at the start of the fights with your Slaughter and your Axe initiations, things could start going all right for Na'Vi. They have, as we've seen a couple of times, they can deal with Medusa. They just can't attack her first. She's going to be the last hero you go for. Similarly, MP, I feel like you can't be fighting him at the start of the fight. He's got the Solar Crest, the Hurricane Pike, he's got good mobility. You've got to ignore these two carries. It's very counterintuitive for most lineups. You want to kill the mid or the carry first. These are the problem heroes, but with this secret draft day heroes, you've just got to ignore because of the time lapse and because of just how much utility these other heroes like the Weaver and the Puck offer in these fights.
Yeah, Kezu's going to be even higher priority and even more rewarding to kill because of a Scythe of Mice pickup that he's working towards. Again, any sort of quick initiation, if they could just eliminate all that net worth from him real quickly, that would be mega value. And then, as you said, Puppy, the problem heroes. That Aghanim's time-lapse always ready to go. Na'Vi might be able to sneak in a Roshan here, though, before Secret can make the rotation across with the Corrosive Haze, Detso, and just sheer damage on Pycat. Playing that pickup, and this could be a finished-up Ags now for Pycat. I'm not sure if saving for buyback with the Aegis is really good.
I think the position they're in is one of those, when you're down the racks and you're fighting a lineup that's going to scale better than you and has an advantage, saving for buyback is not something you want to do as one of the damage deals. A Slaughter or an Axe save for buyback seems fine because they're the ones starting a fight. They're likely going to die when they initiate, so if they can come back and provide a second round of control, fantastic. General is on cooldown though. RMN is also on cooldown, but those are the two heroes you want to have buyback on. The Co-op, the Ursa, just buy all out if you can. You want to make sure you have those big items that will allow you to win a fight.
Maybe the next or General. Big key, game-changing items that have been picked up by Na'Vi. Need that, desperately need that level 25 for Queen of Pain. That would be upgrade, especially with the cheese. He would have such great survivability. Would not be expecting there. Trying to keep top lane pushed out. They're going to cut the wave while General push. He keeping back though, anticipating Secret's push through mid.
Yep. Mid-One's got a pretty good level 25 talent himself coming soon with the 25% lifesteal. Some of these fights, I feel like if he had lifesteal in those last two fights and engagements, I think he would have. He would have easily won that one before. That lifesteal would have made all the difference there, and that last fight I think would have also tipped the tide in his favor. So his level 25, it looks like he's farming ancients, he's farming neutrals. He just wants to try and finish that one up. So I think you go for the Stone Gaze stun here.
I don't think so. I think most of the time enemy team play around the Stone Gaze enough that you can't ever level that thinking you're able to reliably get.
Yeah, and 1 second, it's not from 3 to 4 seconds isn't a game changer necessarily. Whereas 25% lifesteal from 0, that's potentially gonna turn around a fight in your favor. So we'll see how Secret, they're looking to siege into an Aegis. I mean, that really shows how confident they feel their position is.
Well, those lightning procs are kind of rough. They are going to start going onto the Queen of Pain here, locked inside the Vice as well as the Coil. He is going to get a helpful Force Staff there from Pivot, and they activate the Shrine as well. They're receiving so much damage from mid one, and his Dusa with the bouncing lightning and all the split shot. They're all dropping low here. They need to activate another Shrine, going to throw back another Medusa illusion into the real one, but it doesn't save Biver's life. He's now down for 50 seconds, and Secret have a numbers advantage. General needs to even this out. He needs to find the right kind of initiation. They're going to start going onto him with Bycat, but Jesus, look at him. He doesn't do anything, and mid one just ripped him apart. Now RMN somehow gets caught in the Stone Gaze. Bycat comes back, but they're not enough. They're easily going to be able to kite around this carry, and I think Na'Vi, it's time to say goodnight for game one. They're down with 3 heroes, no buyback.
That douche just like walked in, fighting into an Aegis, fighting with Cheese. That was 1v5ing with Bloodlust, with Lotus Orb. You can't touch mid one. You've got to find a way to get the backlines. When he's got all these buffs on him, there is absolutely nothing you can do. The time-lapse sitting behind him, and I mean the vision game in their position was such that mid one was in their face and they couldn't get past. Really well closed out by Secret. The Aegis Cheese. A lot of teams would have like said, "Oh, let's just chill. Let's just wait till those expire." But Navi's like, Secret's just like, well, what are they going to do to us? We're not scared of 2 lives on a nurse, so he does 0 damage the first life. He'll do 0 damage the second life.
Say
Reserve time. Team Secrets turn to ban.
Major to Australia, and then you've got 2 summer majors. You know, you've got TI, then you've got who doesn't want to go to Australia, apart from like the 24 hours of traveling to get there. You know, and probably the tiny crowds that will show up. You'll have like 20 hardcore Australian Dota fans there, like cheering on KP or something.
You know, my dad. You know, I talk to my dad every 2 weeks. He called and asked me about you know, my job and stuff, and
Reserve time.
go to Australia. I was like, no. Never. He's like, why not? They're English speaking. He's like, it would seem like, you know, it would be a pretty decent crowd. I was just like, it's Australia. No one wants to go there.
They're like a little behind as far as esports go. I feel like maybe 5-10 years from now, big esports events in Australia, but yeah, it's not quite ready perhaps in terms of infrastructure and other stuff. But I mean, ESL were like tweeting out like, hey, thoughts on doing a big ESL 1 type event in Australia. So who knows? Maybe one day it'll happen.
I mean, I would love to, because, you know, I used to surf and stuff like that. My family always, so I would love to be able to see some of the Australian beaches, but
yeah.
Hey, all right, Navi, apparently they're not going to lit Bibber. And people should stop putting this on him, by the way. It's not him who's drafting. I've been in this situation. Your drafter just picks you the same hero over and over and over again. You just have to play it. And next thing you know, people are telling you can't play anything else. Bibber's going to play the Rubik again. Because, you know,
10
apparently...
seconds remaining.
Yeah,
5 seconds
they
remaining.
won't get the first pick slider with it banned out, and yeah, I guess for Navi it's just like let's first pick Rubik because we're happy to have
Reserve
Rubik
time.
regardless, and it's not going to really tell too much about our draft. For Secret, they think the same about Weaver. Like you pick Weaver regardless of what your opponents have. It's flexible, it supports, it off lanes, it goes carry. And it leaves you very open with the rest of your draft. So Secret not really showing their hand with their opping picks, but this has been like a recurring theme between these teams at least, without any of like the power heroes available, the Embers, the Lone Druids. These teams generally pick fairly open heroes in the first stage, with the exception of this pick. Finally, we get something a bit different. Navi go the Magnus.
Secret, you have to wonder. Like, Pycat was probably sitting there going, oh, this is probably a trap because they don't ban the Magnus, they ban the Slardor instead, and they just won game number 1. You know, Puppy apparently is not going to feel comfortable going down the same route of just drafting the same
Reserve time.
as that got punished last time. So he's switching it up, right? Bans the Slardor, leaves out the Magnus, knows it's going to be picked up by Navi, and Pycat's like, he sits there thinking about it, he's like, well, honestly, we're too good with it. We're just going to go with it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, now, I think the thing for this with Puppy and Secret is you know it's coming. Like, they've got Magnus, they're going to pick some kind of melee core for Pycat, Slark, the Jug, something that can benefit from the Empower to farm faster and to just be have a big teamfight presence. Now you have a general idea of what the lanes look like. Pick a laning advantage for the mid lane, make sure that mid one has a good time. You can play around this very well. So I think for Secret, it's like, let's make sure they don't get to adjust and draft the same thing and then look to like do what happened in game 3 last time, while making sure like you give them something they're good at, but that you feel like you can prepare and beat.
Drafting a number of melee cores to be able to work. So
5 seconds
they thought just banning away the Jug going to suffice. That definitely Ice Stealer's still out there as well, though. I'm not sure what kind of hero I want if we're, I guess, just in the pool so far, and also very likely with that Ogre, we've Ogre has a with certain heroes. That in mind.
Yeah, so for Team Secret, another ban. I wonder if they're going to go like all out, just ban some of those Pycat heroes, the Jug, the first, the Slark type hero, or even like an Ursa with Empower can be quite strong. But again, there's enough options for Pycat that he's not worried about picking the Magnus first and having some of those partners be banned out. So things fairly open. And then for Pycat, he's got to worry about like where's his Weaver going to go. We're going to see that pesky 4-position Weaver again. I like the 4-position Weaver against Magnus because if you're generally going to be caught in, you're going to be in the side of the fight not getting caught out. So if your teammate gets RP'd or something, you can instantly time-lapse them out in the mid to late game once you farm up that Ag Scepter. That Ag's time-lapse is just so good. And yeah, they actually don't bother banning another melee carry, they just take out the general axe, which has been very good in the 2 games we've seen it in this tournament against Secret.
Yeah, I kind of like this because it's not just the general hero, but also it's an AoE disable.
Team
And
Secrets,
I do
turn
feel
to
like
pick.
there's a lot of opportunity here for Navi to be able to get combinations here. But also it comes back to that Weaver support that you're talking about with the Ags. With these AoE disables, that Weaver Ags may not be as powerful as we've seen it
10
be,
seconds remaining.
such as game. Navi are going to ban away the Dro Ranger.
5
That'll
seconds
leave
remaining.
some of the mid laners out there if team route, but
Reserve time.
I don't know. How are you feeling? Like, would you be down with the sniper versus these Magnus lineups? It's initiation, right? And it's kind of scary, but can it actually get all the way back
Turn
there?
to pick.
Doesn't look like it to me one, but I would have been down for one. I think with the range you've got, I'm fine with a sniper. I don't think I would have wanted it seen like 3rd pick. I think 4th or 5th would have made a bit more sense. But Secret seem happy going for more teamfight centric hero.
10
We
seconds
saw a Quas
remaining.
Wex Invoker from mid 1 in their their recent series against
5
that Finum.
seconds
He is
remaining.
more known for the Exod Invoker. So if they decide that's going to fit this game a bit better, that may be what we see. But
Reserve time.
having defensive tools against Navi seems like a good plan in general. That was where Secret last game had the Stone Gaze, had the Swap, had the Time Lapse. They were reacting to Navi's
Team
aggression, and I think
Secrets, turn
Quaswex
to
Invoker
pick.
does that better than an Exod Invoker, of course. Exod is all about the offensive potential. Quaswex is all about being disruptive and having teamfight control.
Disruption may be necessary. Navi again going for the double initiators,
10
not
seconds
terribly
remaining.
surprising. And King, they did this.
5 seconds remaining.
They've done this. Magnus saying, give them a lot of combination, right? A lot of AoE control,
Reserve
but
time.
also it's now heavy amount of physical damage with Magnus plus whatever core, whatever right clicker they end up going for, and then the Sand King is now going to give a
10
lot of.
seconds remaining.
So Secret thought about maybe just getting pain and armoring up.
Navi's turn to pick.
The only solution to Bounty Hunter, though. Team Secret opting now to rotate this Weaver into more of a core role. The Lincoln's going to be very good against the Sand. The Bounty, I
10
feel like it's
seconds
very
remaining.
hit or miss hero, and may just end up doing nothing if
5
Navi
seconds
start getting
remaining.
into that full 5-man snowball initiation mode, and Bounty Hunter doesn't get enough done in the laning
Reserve
phase.
time.
Yeah, I worry a little bit about this. Like, you need to make sure this bounty can have an impact. But Secret have been very good with their laning stage. So for Navi, I guess we saw last game where their lanes just kind of fell apart for them. Navi just did not really set them up to succeed. I think the Ursa pick also meant that they could get pressured pretty hard. So we'll see what I imagine Puppy can do on this. As much as Pilot Eye is known for the bounty hunter, I'm not sure if he's necessarily going to be playing it. But at the same time, we've seen Puppy play the Ogre and go this Solar Crest, super farmed Ogre, while there's like Pilot Eye playing a different fight position. So maybe they'll swap things up a bit. But
Team Secret
Void for
turn
Navi.
to ban.
You know,
Big
I
team
wasn't
fight.
sure about this. I mentioned Lifestealer. Void is another one of the heroes that they've run with the Magnus. But when Secret, the thing is, when it was a support Weaver,
10 seconds remaining.
the Faceless Void doesn't look as good, right? Because you have that opportunity
5 seconds
to maybe
remaining.
be able to move that hero outside, depending on where they were 5 seconds ago. But now it's a core
Reserve
Weaver,
time.
and
5
that gives the
seconds
Faceless
remaining.
Void lockdown a whole lot more credibility.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have
Navi's
lockdown all
turn to
over the
ban.
place, and Secret, I think, very worried about this big team fight coming their way. Are probably going to have to play a more split push oriented game. They've got the Weaver, which they may even consider running in an offlane and picking up like a carry to go with it, just so they can play like full on split push, have 3 scaling
10
cores.
seconds
They'll
remaining.
never. I don't know. Like, you can get a team fight here, but I don't feel like at any point in this game can you
5
match Navi's
seconds
team fight between
remaining.
Sand King. I mean, all 4 of these heroes have better team fight than everything Secret have outside of the Invoker. So you
Reserve
may just say,
time.
all right, screw it. Let's just pick a safe, reliable carry, have Weaver play the split push game, and focus on winning the lanes and splitting Navi up so that they can't use this big team fight.
And from what do they think Navi's plan is?
I guess expecting the offlane Void, Armen's played a lot of the Sand King, so they feel like Navi still want a faster paced, aggressive core, because the Void takes a bit of time kind of to come online. Like, you get that Chrono level 6, like, you don't necessarily have the damage to pump in yourself. Neither does Magnus. Like, currently this lineup doesn't use the Chronosphere in the early stages of the game, and that's where PA would at least give you a fighting hero, not necessarily to use the Chronosphere, but to play aggressive with. So I think they're worried about Na'Vi picking up something that can fight aggressively in early. PA, Ursa would be the other hero that comes to mind that didn't work out too well last game, but is like at least a similar style.
10 seconds
Early rotations and early fighting.
I was just wondering because
5
it was the
seconds
last time they
remaining.
ran safe lane for regular old mid map.
Reserve time.
If they continue that plan, we still have an offlaner available, but maybe they are going to switch. There's not too many offlaners left that would really promote aggression, so maybe it is better to put that Faceless Void as an offlaner and get a better safe lane hero, or put the Sand King there, I guess, and now have a nice tower pushing support and less.
Okay, so I feel like, yeah, exactly that. They wanted to make sure they have a way to win a team fight and take objectives, or if Secret are playing the split push game and are saying, oh, we're going to avoid your team fight, they can now punish it through
5
having a
seconds
Lash.
remaining.
And it does look like that puts General onto the off-lane Sand King in theory, unless we're seeing some kind of a core Lash. Secret's last pick is going to be a more team fight-oriented hero in the Centaur, giving them the Stampede as well. Not an amazing game for Stampede by any means. Like, I don't feel like any of these heroes benefit from it all that much. Weaver has Shikuchi regardless as a carry, and Voka can generally rely on his position, his Yules, his Blink, his items to maneuver around a fight, but something that does give them a guaranteed way to start a fight off, which sometimes Secret have lacked.
The Centaur Stampede is going to look real lackluster if it's always a reactionary. If the Chronosphere or the RP or even the Burrow Strike are already laid out, it's going to look a little bit funny in the early. We'll see. Secret are obviously with the Bounty Hunter. They will have the vision.
10
They have
seconds
somewhat of an aggressive core in Weaver, so maybe they can be the ones to take
5
the
seconds
first
remaining.
step every single. First start is make odds. Do you feel like Secret is going to be able to do that game?
Not maybe as much as last game. Lot depends on Puppy and what he can get done early on with the Bounty Hunter. So I guess all eyes on him. I mean, between Bounty and Ogre, you've got very strong laning presence from both these supports. So we'll see how they manage to do. I think Pycat's going to be kind of in a position where you just can't really harass him. He's a Void. He's going to have plenty of regen. So trying to find and bully some of these supports. The Rubik, the Lesh, those are the two squishier of the supports that you want to try find some early kills on.
Interesting setup. This ward counter wards is going to be counter. I think Puppy did manage to spot RMN as he in high ground. Placed the ward. He just originally just placed the counter.
Yep.
That gave Puppy going to be able to counter both that as well as the Observer ward and block out the camp. That is a very, very valuable sentry he just.
Oh yeah, did chew through double tangos to make sure he could do it quickly and get out of there, but you're not too worried about that. Na'Vi going for a late smoke. They want to run into this bounty with Dust, find a kill. Viver's going to be the one leading the way. He's got the telekinesis, and it looks like this is likely to succeed. They're going to be running right past this observer. Puppy sees it's empty, and there we go. Oh, they're bit slow.
Yeah, they were just. That coordination was not great. They still managed to hit the stun, though. Telekinesis pull back. Could they actually finish him off, though? They can't body block him, so there's no real way for General to be able to close that gap quickly. The dust is going to wear out, and a fresh invis laid down. They are going to try keep. Oh, Jesus Christ! All right, it's both sentries down and the dust. They did get that first one.
Yeah, I guess it's barely worth it in the end, but yeah, that's still big investment. I feel like they were a little slow. They should have ideally been like hiding behind a tree and trying to bait Puppy in, like using fog. It's hard to do so because you're not sure which direction he's coming from. It looked like they were expecting him to come from the right side, but he came from the north. But either way, to kill their right back bottom lane. They're already getting damage on a Kezu who gets chain stunned up by RMN in general, so
I'm kind of down with this. It does mean Pycat is going to be looking a little bit worse for wear when it comes to farm, but very similar to last game. Hopefully they're going to be in a better situation when it comes to laning phase, but General's farm is paramount. That is really when the they start moving outside of this static laning phase and start getting some things done. So I do like the fact that they're matching in a potential 1v1 against where he can win that. But in the beginning, they're going to give him that sort of RMN and actually kill power.
Yeah. No, I'm totally on board with it as well. Pycat will at least ideally be able to get XP. He can always play catch-up using the Empower to help him farm. So for now, it is a bit of a tough lane. He's hoping it's going to push out with the double range creep. As Pyladai can get a side pull off, Pycat should still get some XP out of this lane. So all in all, the Na'Vi lane setup looks better than what we saw last game.
Wait, it's going to push into towers. RMN in general putting more pressure onto KheZu, prioritizing shoving him out of lane rather than sure they get themselves. Go for the 2-minute runes. Mid lane, 11 and 5 for Dendi with the early level of Empower. He does have a pretty decent damage upgrade over mid one at level 1, but now start seeing the power. Exort. Mid one,
yes.
Poker build, and Black damage.
Gets the second point in Exalt, making it pretty clear he will be going for some Sunstrike plays this game, and just generally the more heavy Exalt won't just go for the early Alacrity and back for Quazwex. Unless we see a double Exalt then into Quazwex, but that doesn't seem like it's pretty very standard Invoker build, so trying to play around some of the Centaur initiations, the Ogre stuns to hit some of those Sunstrikes, and for now this mid lane with Vivor's presence has been tougher than most as far as him getting farm. Dendi happy to split the XP if it means getting fast bottle, fast boots, and his early game items.
Or stacks are going to be all important for the supports. Obviously, between the Thank King and the Empower, Na'Vi have great ways to be able to clear through those. They do make a go on KheZu here again. Unlikely to actually get this kill. KheZu TP out after the double stun. Harassment done.
He's been fairly quiet during the early stage. He was annoying to Pycat by taking his bounty room when he fell back from the tower, but hasn't been able to help any of the lanes because of Rubik's presence mid, because of a strong dual lane down bottom with a Centaur. Like, Centaur bounty can't fight this 2v2. There isn't really an obvious lane for Puppey to help. Perhaps the best one he could have done is perhaps top. Oh, mid. Skewer back. Mid one. Then Ghost Walk. Wasn't quite in the tower with that skewer. Really nice attempt with that telekinesis. And mid one. Yeah, he'll still be okay. That dust coming out
here by RMN. Very low chance that he might be able to get this kill. If he hits the stun, now has to pop the Diabolic Edict afterwards with the extra nuke or the Fade Bolt. He might still be able to get this kill. Puppey comes in, soaks up some of the damage, tries to get some return kill onto RMN. Branch there for a true.
Time is money.
But nice kill on the mid one. I was just going to criticize Na'Vi for basically setting up that kind of gank, but not having RMN pick up a TP and TPN for the initiative.
Yes.
But they still get the kill.
Yeah, they had the dust and everything. They had all the pieces they needed, just that little bit of extra damage and lockdown. So nice move from RMN. Make sure he still gets the kill. And yeah, this lane's looking very good. Pycat not exactly farming amazingly, but he's got 11 CS against what should have been a tough lane, and they're going for it again at mid.
Round 2, no TP here. This time mid one will just throw out the tornado and try and run back, but it looks like they may have the damage anyway. Pyladai stops the last right click. Dendi, can you get it? 2 seconds? No, the shockwave's not going to be there in time. In fact, Vivor may end up going down. Pyladai is just beating him. A new one. Dendi, let's stop that. So this time, Port that dies.
Like how he even tried to empower the Rubik to help him get that kill. Just couldn't quite get it. Nice attempt from Na'Vi. And losing just his support for all those rotations isn't all too bad for them, considering the other lanes where they've taken the T1 bottom tower. They've almost got a kill onto KheZu. He's going to be forced to hoof stomp himself out of there, and with the stun coming up, RMN still wants this.
He just happened to hit Puppey while he's in Viz too, so Puppey couldn't even get a whole lot of damage to RMN while they paint that tier 2 tower. Seems like the laning phase, maybe Secret are planning on with this Bounty Hunter actually getting an early lead thanks to the Bounty Hunter's presence, but it's actually been quite the opposite. Managed to accomplish nearly as much as the Na'Vi supports. Now with the triple stun combination, they'll pick up Puppey as well, 4-1. NP, maybe, with a Sunstrike. RMN. Oh, his TP was just about to complete.
Oh.
It was so close, but not close enough.
And Vivid does not have a TP, so do not see a good escape for him. Does have a telekinesis. Push MP back, but no TP still.
General, he would have to be there just to give Biver a chance, and he doesn't want to risk.
Yeah.
Losing the supports is all good as long as they don't lose their cores, especially General's farm.
Yep.
Most important thing for now.
He didn't have any points in Sandstorm, so it was like, you go in, you're committed there. So he falls back. Navi going to smoke up. They've got the level 6 on Pycat, so he may not have any farm, but they still feel like they can use this trio to find a kill, ideally on the Invoker.
They're not going to be able to clip Puppy with that one. They may still be able to bring mid one down. They'll take a stun as the Chronosphere fades back, and there's going to be a lot of Secret Gears to be able to respond. Dendy does manage to get a really good RP, though. No turnaround, though. RMN is going to get burned out from the Ignite. Unfortunately, would have been a nice combo stun, but Dendy mostly there using the RPs. Most of his allies from going down for the Invoker and just trade RMN away.
Yeah, close seeing the supports there, but Lesh didn't have another stun or anything. They stacked the telekinesis a bit with the Lesh stun. Maybe if they actually saved one of those spells, they could have comboed with the RP, but either way, they just wanted to make sure they killed the Invoker as fast as possible, seeing all those TPs come in.
He's
got no mana, but looks like he'll be okay.
That plan was actually just full on rotate around mid one and go for a dive. You can see how much they're putting priority in shutting him down. Multiple rotation. Biver.
Yeah, I think there's a play to shut down on Secret. I think mid one is the play to look at. Much like General for Na'Vi is probably the play you want to shut down. That's why Na'Vi are happy to send Pycat to the offlane. Like, he's playing a hero that was initially run more often in the offlane than the carry role, so at least over the last couple of years, so it's not a problem for that, and he can always transition later on.
Oh my god, so it looks like all those presumptive Reddit posts about 7.0 are right. Offlane is the new safe lane.
Yeah. Well, not in the sense he's necessarily getting farm, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, how safe he's. I mean, he's not dying because he's.
Biver, I'm sorry, dude. Your rotations, they're good in the beginning, but this time around,
yeah.
COD 5-5 are beginning to get a read on what Na'Vi's shenanigans are going to be in this lane.
They've got good vision up now, like around that mid lane, the bottom river, so they're catching Rubik first, rotating up towards that top shrine, then going down bottom there. It looked like just trying to get an aggressive ward up, but if you've got wards up in the area first, you see those supports coming in and trying to find those pickoffs. So Secret going the aggressive again. MP's been very active, definitely been impressed by him this series, first on the Venge, and now on this Weaver. He realizes they've had a bad laning stage, he TP's bottom, he comes mid. He is the one trying to create space to help mid one get his Midas up and to put pressure onto Na'Vi.
Okay. He still be successful. It's been popped on NP, but PyLiDi is in position to make a goal here on RMN. RMN has his ult out, so at least he'll get some damage in return. Might be enough to actually kill PyLiDi. With the Diabolic Edict damage still going out, and a Shockwave coming in from Dendy of his rotation. They do get a turnaround one support for...
Alright. Not all too bad. Na'Vi did bring the Magnus in for that, although it looked like Dendy was just in the neighborhood farming anyways. He's gone back for an Iron Talon, going to be rushing an Echo Saber. He's going a more farm-oriented build himself, where he can actually dish out some good damage. And Cronus here at bottom, they've caught MP.
Oh, look at that. General.
Great play. Yeah.
It's the Caustic Finale creeps and finishes up with a Pro Strike, meaning Dendy's influence not even needed.
It's going straight into the Aetherlands. Interesting option, not what you normally see on Sand
I'll take your tribute.
He doesn't want to snipe that rune. Not in front of a potential rotation.
RMN playing around with Ancients. I didn't really know that was an option for a Leshrac and support, and maybe RMN didn't know it was an option either. Starts backing away from that. While Dendy does get found, taking away that bounty rune. Think anything's gonna fire Centaur's TP seconds.
Yeah, at this point I think Secret need to prioritize perhaps getting Kezu a blink, since he's going to be their mid-game way of approaching fights and to find pickoffs. Like, yeah, you're not going to be able to necessarily out teamfight Na'Vi, but ideally you need to be able to make smokes and make some smoke ganks and find some pickoffs to disrupt Na'Vi's like snowball as far as just they could go from tower to tower, pushing them down using the edict just based on their team fight strength. So I think having a centaur to find pickoffs is going to be key for them. He has queued up the hood though, so it doesn't look like he wants to rush into it, which means Secret are going to be playing like a very more slow-paced, farming-oriented game if they're not going for the blade.
If they do still catch Dendy, he actually tried to skewer up in order to get away from all of this, but he was pretty tanky. I thought he was going to be good walking away, but he ends up getting his TP canceled, and now he's just lead them on a merry chase. Mid-1 will not be able to claim them out.
Yeah, the Stampede to help get... I don't know if he gets that Fire Blast off without the Stampede, so... fitting pause time. Unfortunate for Na'Vi, but as it stands, it's still in a pretty good position overall. Like the farm on Sand King and Magnus is very good. Void's in a position where number 5 on net worth for now, but that can very quickly change. A couple of successful fights if he just gets some alone time to farm, and he is going back for a Midas now, so catch up Midas will allow Pycat to get caught back up. He's got support of this top lane, perhaps looking to bait the Faceless Void.
No, I wonder how Secret will respond to this, because they can't efficiently trade just because they don't really have the same kind of building hitters. Weaver's okay thanks to an early life bonus and Bloodlust, but it's not really going to be comparable to RMN and Right. At what point does Secret start fighting these pushes? That is also an inherent danger. Navi's early.
Yeah, and right now Navi's doesn't even have to push with all 5 heroes. They're pushing with 4. Secret decide they want to try and punish that, but I think even a 4v5, Na'Vi do very well here because of the, well, no chrono yet, but if they get the chrono up, then they can do well.
General at least does manage to stop NP's rotation. His TP does manage to get there out there in time. Like Sins. Up just being a 3 versus 4 on top by Na'Vi. Walk away. And a minus now being finished up by Pycat off of the neutrals, so start climbing back into that net worth chart. He's been playing the off laner during the laning phase. Didn't really get much, but you can see even before the Midas, he's sitting at 4.1k, not too far behind both MP and mid-1 at this point. Dendy. Oh, nice attempted play there for mid-1 with the preemptive Sunstrike to get him during skewer, but not go that direction.
Yeah. You feel it, even if I guess if it landed, perhaps they would have committed more damage for it, but it did feel like they were lacking. Void, Chronosphere up top, finds Kezu with RMN. Na'Vi just execute. The beauty of their lineup with all these big teamfight spells is you can use a Chrono for a solo kill. You're quite happy chronoing 1 core hero and backing off, RPing a single hero. You've got so many big teamfight spells that you don't have to land 3 4-man Chronos or 3 4-man RPs in this game. You can use each big ultimate to kill 1 hero. Get a solo kill with an Epicenter, get a solo kill with a Chrono, and you already have a numbers advantage to win a fight.
Right, congrats. You got the vision on General. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
3 out of Dust, 3 out of Sentry. Got a track on him, but all of it is going to not have a pretty good... Seems like you would think they'd be a little bit more into it with... Secret seem to be underestimating the tanking of the mid Magnus, especially with this build that he goes for with the strength treads, and then he usually picks up Echo Saber, which he has now. Magnus is actually very hard to initiate on, just because he is unnaturally tanky, and is usually
Yeah, we saw it at the Ancients when they find him, but they can't even bring him down, so... Yeah, Dendy just going to use this build to continue getting a bit more farm on himself. Pycat actually doesn't end up going for the Midas. It looks like he's picked up a Maelstrom, so perhaps the word is like, I think Na'Vi are probably feeling like after these last couple fights and towers, they've gotten very easy, like they're a lot stronger than Secret, so they'd rather press their advantage. Get a more aggressive fighting item, damage item for Pycat. It's also a pseudo-farming item the way Midas works. You can farm lanes a lot faster. Like I saw Pycat creep skipping the top tower and he farms it so slowly. This Maelstrom means he can actually be away from the Magnus and still farm at a decent rate.
Yeah, I'm thinking if he was maybe farther behind in this game, then maybe the Midas would fit, but I think you're right in saying Na'Vi have done good enough in the laning phase. They can push this advantage and better for you. Getting you some damage. They're going to be able to get the epicenter combination onto Kezu. Kezu does have the Hood of Defiance, but this much magic damage is still going to overwhelm him. The Sunstrike comes in, unfortunately on the wrong target. General will be fun to tank it, and he lives through it all.
TP mid, they want their shrines. MP is camped on the high ground. General. Uh-oh.
General's going to be gone on. He's definitely dead. Dendy is still in the neighborhood, but not going to make the rotation up. I thought maybe we'd see some sort of RP TP play, but Navi just going to lit there. Their offlaner died. Not a big deal. The other two more than enough arm, as is the 4 position support. Leshrac is getting a decent.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
He needs to transition and get some, at least, items to help him survive in these fights. Leshers always need to be in the front lines. That's how you do damage through your Edict and your Pulse Nova, so that's where having an undefined Lesh is not going to work for you. So, Na'Vi, really looking to utilize the blink timings now. Both Sand and Magnus will have theirs at a fairly similar time, and a bit slower than perhaps you'd normally see from a Sand or a Magnus in their 1v1 matches, just because they've gone for these farming items. I think Na'Vi are like, well, we can get blinks at 11-12 minutes in, but we'd rather fight around the 16-17 minute stage where we've got more overall farm, more levels. They've got level 2 ultis, they've got a level 11 Lesh, you've got maxed out Edicts, so they're overall stronger through their levels when they get their blinks, and they're not going to try and force plays around blink daggers when they're not ready to fight.
Kind of surprising me that RMN for the plus 15 movement speed, 125.
Huh.
If that was like, plus 8 strength or something, I'd be like, okay, maybe that's just not enough 8.
A tie to the impurity.
Mobility is survivability in some cases. So.
Yeah. Well, I guess all his teammates, will all have blinks and he won't, so he wants to be able to just kind of keep up. Like when they initiate him with the blink down, he wants to make sure he's in range to get off the a follow-up stun. But I definitely agree. I think the more standard would be going for the health.
Big play from General. He was farming out his blink tag on the bottom lane, and they started going on him. They had Ignite, they had Swarm, and he runs into the jungle, picks up from the side chop his dagger, instantly TPs
nice
and gets the distance.
Well played from him. Puppey is getting down some deep wards. Secret have constantly had very good vision this game, thanks to Puppey. But they haven't really had the early game impact from his support bounty that they did from his Weaver. He's been in 5 of these kills, but it is still a lane stage that hasn't gone as great for Secret. They've got mid 1 up back on top of the net worth though, so despite the early pressure onto him, he's just played PvE for the most part and has managed to farm himself up a blink. He's close to an Aghanim Scepter as well to go with his Midas, and that's at least putting him in a position to succeed in the late game. We may find this Courier.
Radiant's courier
He
has
got
been
it. Oh, barely thanks to this ward right here. That's not Navi are going. Roshi though. Okay.
Strength renewed.
Hi, Cat.
I'll take your tribute.
They'll have a lot better time, a lot more confidence. These initiations, team fights, Secret are just gonna have to go for a heavy amount of split. I'm not sure if they can beat Navi, even if they execute really well. I'm not sure if they can beat Navi in a 5-man.
Yeah, I do not think so either. And even Invoker gets his axe, he gets a bit more teamfight presence. He's still, for an Invoker, lower level than you want to be to start taking big 5-on-5 engagements. Pycat finds...
Oh, no, Pycat.
Oh.
Oh, God, I can see it coming, too.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Well, that's a chronosphere down. The battle of the counter wards results in a big win for Secret. Here, I thought this was just going to be a minor. No big deal. Congrats. You counter to counter. What's the deal about that? But... Ulting chrono. The center being drawn up here. Here comes RMN charging in, trying to finish off with that Burrow Strike, but the Stampede comes in. Unfortunately, that plus 15 movement speed just wasn't enough. General's now been caught by the track. They're going to be chased down. MP will go for RMN. While Kezu puts a stomp on a General. TP out from RMN will be successful, but that turnaround was big for Secret.
Yeah, that there is why you want more movement speed as a Lesh, so you can get in for that follow-up stun, but he just still wasn't quite fast enough to get that Split Earth to follow up the Epicenter combo. General perhaps misjudging, wherever the communication was, it was slightly misjudged about when to initiate in, because you need to make sure Leshrac has the follow-up stun there, because that Stampede allows Invoker to disengage.
Seriously beating on that tier 2 tower. Got Biver behind him, watching the shrine to make sure that if there are heavy TP rotations, they'll know about it. Gonna start setting up for defense of the tier 1 at top. Under the tier 2, leaving the tier 1 BP open.
A golden dream.
Doesn't look like anyone's going to force too much. Na'Vi just back to their jungle. They're going to continue farm up. Dendi's got his blink, but hasn't found too much off of this just yet. He's very high level and has a lot of farm though. Like he's almost got a BKB to follow this one up. So top of the net worth Magnus. This is not the Magnuses you normally expect to see out of like your melee carry draft. Normally you think more like utility Magnus, you're just helping your carries farm, but this Magnus is prioritizing his own farm. This is how Dendi's been playing it the few times he runs it, and I definitely prefer it. Like you can help your teammates farm from time to time, but Pykat's been pretty self-sufficient, Zank in general's been self-sufficient. Dendi can have a very big late game impact by having this BKB Echo Saber of his own.
Yeah, the Echo Saber felt like a big change for a lot of strength here, but it seems like as time has gone on, it's been the Magnus. Pycat is going to be gone on here. There goes that Aegis. Secrets are going to try and make another go here. Now, they do not have the Stomp, but they will have the track to be able to keep up a Pycat, it seems. Chronosphere laid out. He's going to go and try and get to the other side, but Kezu's on top of him. Does manage to get the link. And Pykat's TP. Cancel. Secret are finding pickoff after pickoff. They are managing to run Na'Vi around the map, separate them, and then find these very key kills.
Yeah, this is play from Secret to get themselves, I mean, kind of back in this game. They're not really that out of it. They're just playing the slower paced game. They're playing the farm game, so it kind of appears, I guess, on the surface that like, oh, Na'Vi's doing more. They're pressuring the lanes. They're the ones who are initially getting more of the kills, but Ironman on top.
Gunstrike
it down.
Great combo. Yeah. Viver does manage to steal the Stomp. That will lead into General hitting a stun as well, but Kezu is very tanky. He's got Hood Defiance as well as the point booster. Viver's now going to be blasted down by mid-1. Double kill for them. Also track kills going the way of Secret. General now been spotted. Great tornado from mid-1. He does manage to get a Burrow Strike TP out. Okay.
Sunstrike just coming back up there, but yeah, that's the big thing here. It's like you're finding these picks as Secret. It's not just buying you time to farm, but you're getting extra bonus gold from the track. They are looking very good as a result of that. MP's gone straight into a BKB. We feel like we often talk about Weaver builds because we're seeing so many Weaver builds, Weaver picks, but this is a new build for us to try and figure out.
Yeah, and he doesn't go, he started going for it, Perseverance, and then just holds it at that, and is going to try and finish. So I think part of it was that if there was not so much successful split pushing from Secret, the Desolator wouldn't have as much value, and you'd need that extra item prevent initiation. But Na'Vi, they actually are getting kind of run around, and they got a lot of tier 2 damage there in the bottom lane. General's going to go for an epicenter on the Pylai Die. Now this time around, it doesn't look like a Stampede will save him, but in the end, it's Pylai Die. That guy's literally known for dying. He's okay. Pycat actually jumping forward away from the hood stop. They're going to be controlled up by the Cold Snap, though. He's too far forward and gets picked apart. Secret. You take the Ogre, we'll take the Void every single day of the week.
Pretty cool stomp dodge. I think it's probably intentional. Like he's queued it up. Like, okay, if I get dodged, I have to time walk immediately. If I get blinked on, and he's already facing forward, but does it into 3 or 4 heroes. So unfortunately, the cooldown does not play into his favor to come back up in time to save his life, and didn't have a chrono to play around. But consecutive kills onto the Void. That is a big concern. There's been a few kills onto the Lesh, who really needs some farm progression as well to turn into at least a pseudo core and be a bit tankier and hard to deal with. And Na'Vi may lose General as well.
Yep. Sunstrike, Meteor, mega kill streak for mid-1. This Invoker getting out of control. They're shutting down. You're pointing out they're shutting down all the right heroes of Na'Vi, and vice versa is not true, right? Na'Vi has continued to fail to gank the Invoker, have failed to gank most of the cores for the most part. Like, they haven't touched MP, and even Kezu, who should be ideally one of the easier heroes. Last time they went on him, it was actually a turnaround. They got RMN killed.
Na'Vi just haven't been able to like force those fights that they'd like with Chrono and RP. I mean, we've seen Dendi really do very little to get involved. He has prioritized his own farm and is scaling well, but you've got to worry that if I think Na'Vi were playing this farming efficiency game but not getting picked off, like trading farm with Secret, you'd be okay with it, but they're getting picked apart. They're losing the Void, and his farm has really suffered as a result. Just 9.5k net worth There's going to be a lot of pressure on Dendy in this late game to hit RPs, to get kills for his team. His talents are amazing for getting kills, which is why we're seeing this Magnus build. 25 attack speed, 50 damage. He can get some strength if he wants even more damage, but it's a secret draft where they seem to be able to maneuver around the teamfight spells of Na'Vi, so it's easier said than done to land those spells later on.
Poor Dendy has so much pressure on him. Like, all of his cores are getting picked off. His forward position that's supposed to scale isn't really getting there either. He just picks up the Eul Scepter, but he's well behind even the Bounty Hunter and Centaur, so much responsibility is on his shoulders now to get the right kind of initiation needed to turn this game around.
They smoked underneath the ward.
Is under attack.
Melissa looked like it was underneath the ward. Pilot actually tipped in up here. Oh, right, very close to it.
Taking it.
Yeah, that
Typical
looks to be the case.
MP, oh my god. Alright, Viver's got that blink dagger, he'll send it back, he'll get the stun follow up. Everything is A-okay again in Navi's mind, but that was not the ideal smoke for them.
Dire's top tower
Secret,
has
they get a
fallen.
lot done in the meantime. They get the bottom lane push out, they take a tier 2 for a tier 2. Navi are going to try and threaten the high ground to see if they can force MP back, but they really can't, not against this Invoker.
Yeah, very, very difficult. Don't really see that. At most, you get Secret to keep themselves home, so it does look like that's going to be the case for the most part. General then just goes back. It's jungle to keep on farming. Na'Vi want to kind of maintain some map control around this area. They've got good deep wards at the top and middle side of the map. Secret more interested in this bottom side. They know Void just TP down here to farm. They smoke up very quickly to get down there to try find that pickoff. But this time around, it looks like Pycat is at least somewhat aware of what is going on and coming his way.
Owen Shukuchi. That's a big pickup, especially since he's the one holding the gem, but they are not going to run it.
Yeah, he saw the Mud Golem, which Puppy is using as like a scouting tool, but he still gets found.
General.
It's hard. I guess from like an observer point of view, it looks like Na'Vi just keep getting picked off alone, but that really is the power and the beauty of this bounty hunter who is constantly scouting out, finding these picks. I mean, Secret, testament to them, are just playing very well to find these kills. These are not easy kills to get. They're moving very aggressively on the map and not hesitating. Like, as soon as they lose that top tower, they're smoking from top to bottom to get in that Radiant jungle again.
Radiant's middle tower has
With
fallen.
that pickoff, Desolator takes apart the tier 1 tower. Now Dandy may be kind of bad position. Good skewer across to the side. Well played. He was being rapidly surrounded. That was escape. Here comes that Mud Golem. Undernet Na'Vi. They immediately back out. They said the Golem. That was a harbinger of death last time for General, so everyone run away from that guy.
It's like a second bounty hunter. That's the crazy thing. It's the bounty hunter without the spells. But right now, bounty's main job is to scout out enemies and set up kills for his team. That Mud Golem does the same thing with no risk of it dying. Like, if it dies, you don't lose anything. If Puppy dies, it's a bigger deal. And if the Golem finds someone, then Puppy can then go in and follow it up for a track. So you can really see the power of the Helm of the Dominator in use and why Puppy wants to go for it on his bounty hunter.
Thought he could push into the Dire jungle. Maybe that was miscommunication. Maybe he thought his allies were him and they were just going to charge into the Dire jungle. And they stay on the shrine. One is out around the Roshan area, knowing that this is probably going to be part of the game. Get an initiation on a Pylite die, so one support picked off, the other one may not die here. Kezu actually managed to get the stun onto Dendy. Dendy invised up, but they do have a vision of him. Starts getting away. Nice Chronosphere. Pycat locking in 4. They're going to be able to get the Burrow Strike off that with the RP. 4 down from Secret. That'll open up Roshan finally. It wasn't Dendy who found the initiation, but Pycat who redeems himself with a game-changing ultimate.
Yeah, I feel like so many of these Na'Vi Magnus games, like Dendy will have a pretty quiet gaming, hit one huge up to win in the game. That was all Pycat. What a Chronosphere. And well played by Sankey to make sure it lined up the Burrow Strike. Because of the way they were positioned in the Chrono, Dendy couldn't get that 3-man RP until that Burrow Strike came into play. So made sure he blinked right into the middle of the Chrono to get the follow-up RP to help with the Burrow Strike, and absolute cleanup by Na'Vi. They get the big team fight, they secure themselves Roshan, and that is what their lineup has been looking to do for quite some time.
Puppy's farming the neutrals going, God damn it, guys. Are you going to let that team fight happen? Now I've got to farm and do something because you guys seem to get caught in their AoE. We've got so many items flooding in now for Na'Vi. We've got Yule Scepter for Sand King. Pycat's going to finish up a BKB, so finally he gets to be able to have a quick reaction response to the Centaur's initiation. When he does stomp in, he doesn't have to time walk into death anymore. And then Dendi, looks like Dendi has queued up an Orchid. We'll see if he actually continues down that trajectory or not, but I do like the idea.
Yeah, this is, I think Dendi's almost always doing this kind of a build. I don't know if he always goes to Shadowblade before the Orchid, but the few like Core Magnus games I've seen, he goes for the right click, he transitions into this Orchid later on, and just goes for this very aggressive style of play. So he is in full force right now. Plus 15 strength count means he's tankier and even gets more damage out of this. Gets the bonus damage from the Empower on that strength as well. So this is going to be a tough Magnus to deal with.
It's hitting pretty hard.
He does more damage than Void theoretically in a team fight with his right clicks, I would say. Secret gonna have to be careful. I mean they've had like a good streak of getting pickoffs and like without getting caught in that big team fight combo, but that's gonna make them think maybe twice. Now back to the split push, use the Stampede as a saving tool. It's an Ag Stampede, so you've got that damage block if like one of your cores like a Weaver or Invoker gets gone on. It can block the damage while perhaps getting them out to safety. But immediately upon winning that fight, Na'Vi is back, pressing forward, have RP back up. The Epicenter, the Chrono back up in 15 seconds as well. Na'Vi want to force this.
Mid one pops his head out. That is nothing more than a tornado to dispel that double damage that was sneaking on Pycat. They are going to try and come forward here. They do manage to hit the stun. Pycat doesn't actually get off the BKB fast enough, but he does have that second life. And he gets off the BKB his own. He actually charges forward here through Navi's lineup, trying to go on for Bibber here, but he does get that was a well-timed bash, and RP almost finished him off, but Dendi does manage to hold on to it as the time-lapse complete. Dendi, with his Shadowblade in a position, nice double stun out from General. On the Puppy and Pylite die, that telekinesis is going to be thrown into Py. They are going to get that two-man Chronosphere. Now, Dendi still waiting for his opportunity to catch some of the cores. The supports aren't going to end up going down. Finally, the RP's laid out. It's going to be on mid one. They want to stop this big damage dealer. Another great burrow strike out from General. Hits Kezu as well on this side. Can they hit it with the skewer? They've got him. Bowls right into him. Kezu going to be stopped from being able to TP out. That will be a track kill for Na'Vi since Bibber had that one stolen away from Puppy. 4 down from Secret once again.
General's going for the Epicenter bottom. He wants MP. He'll get him, I think.
No! MP, is that going to be... Oh my god, it's
so
the last bit of damage. He gets the time lapse off.
He would have been on like 50 HP. Yeah, that was the full wipe he went for. I love the call from General. He sees him, tracked up bottom. It was a Rubik stolen track, I guess, and just TP's down there looking for that kill. Either way, Na'Vi wiped them and are looking to do some damage here. They need to be careful about the respawns because they won't have ultimates. Or they... Oh yeah, they still won't have their big ultimates for a little bit of time, but... These are, like, now that we're kind of in the late game, like the RP, the Chrono, it feels like you use one, you win a fight, they're back up within the next minute or so.
Oh, another two-man stun from General. He just doesn't stop. The skewer back onto Puppy. Freebie for Na'Vi on their way out.
They may just try Shrine up, wait these cooldowns, and go again now if they want to. Na'Vi's finally seem to be hitting their stride here in the mid-game.
Oh, gods. I thought you were right. You know, they got punished once by the big team fight, so time to split push. Secret choosing to fight again in the mid lane, and you could see the power of Na'Vi's lineup. They're able to chrono 2 supports, and it doesn't really matter because they still have an RP. They're able to RP mid one by himself, but it doesn't matter because 2 supports are already dead, and General's over there, you know, stunning 2 people at a time with every single burrow strike. They can afford to use these big team fight ultimates for very small picks in the big 5-man engagements because they've got so many to utilize.
I think it was a very clear team decision from Na'Vi as well, because Dendi stayed there invis while Pycat was fighting in the Chronosphere. Dendi didn't even try and come out to use a single spell or throw any damage until he saw Invoker. His entire game plan that fight was to just find an RP mid one. If you get mid one plus other heroes, great. If you don't, doesn't matter. As long as he RP'd mid one, that was his job that fight. Pycat's job was to start the fight. Chrono, 1, 2 heroes, however many you can get, to bait mid one in. And they pulled mid one in, he gets taken out, and once mid one's dead, that any damage up when Secret's fight is completely reduced to next to nothing. The Invoker is really the majority of their team fight, and Na'Vi are ready to go again. They've got ultimates once more.
No generals in here. Do they really want to make this initiation? They don't manage to catch Pycat. They do hit general and blow him up with a meteor. Now, the ultimate's going to be laid out by Pycat. He's trying to finish off MP. Does he have the damage? No, the time lapse goes off again. He gets a bash, though, double bash, and he does manage to finish off. Kezu going to be caught by the Burrow Strike. Puppy's up next. Biver right in front of his face. Looks like they're going to be able to get that kill. Nice turnaround by Puppy. That's a track kill as well. But in the end, Rubik is the only one who goes down, and Secret lose 3. Again, choosing to fight into Na'Vi. Are they going to do it again and again and again?
Dendy's got the RP. He's looking for mid one. Does he go for the blink in? I mean, they've held RP and Epicenter right now, so there's still a lot of teamfight potential for this Na'Vi side. Chrono, 60 seconds away. Can still force this one, knowing that the Centaur and Weaver are dead.
The popped out tier 3 will be finished off by the illusion from the Diabolic Edicts of RMN. Mid 1 will attempt to scare them back with an EMP, and it looks like it's done its trick with 15 seconds left for the NP Weaver. Na'Vi will back away and deal with this bottom lane push.
Yeah, it feels like Na'Vi happy to take a more calculated approach, recognize that their lineup can still scale very well to the late game, not by having like a carry advantage, just because of all these teamfight spells. It's going to always be damned impossible for mid one to fight. There's no real item that you can get to save yourself against a Chronosphere or an RP. It's just going to come down to positioning and how you play it, and he's looking to play it by finding a free pick. Biver, bottom lane, can't do a whole lot against the Lincoln Sphere, and we'll get off.
Gets him a little bit closer to that Octarine. But all the items in the world won't change the fact that Dendy is very clearly trying to play a neutralizer. If they can catch Pylite Eye here, the Stampede goes off, slows some of them down. They do manage to kill Pylite Eye here. The RP goes out from Dendy, but not feeling comfortable. He's going to try and skewer out. Blinks away. He's good. Still with the BKB. Mid one's going to try and hunt him down still. He does have the Blink Dagger and Cold Snap up, but nighttime vision and a tier 2 tower will keep mid one from
couple of kills there, catching Na'Vi a bit split up. Like, they find the Rubik at bottom, which doesn't seem like a big kill, but it just means that once they find one more pick off, suddenly you've got a big numbers advance. The 5v3. Pycat wants in, but
he's got the BKB. If he can finish off NP inside this Chronosphere, he had a hard time last time with the Burrow Strike Epicenter coming in. That'll make it a whole lot easier. Pycat jumps forward, tries to go more here, slowing down Puppy with the time dilation. Kezu helps him out. They're going to turn, try and blow on Pycat. They've got him. The BKB used inside the Chronosphere leads Pycat to his own death. Pursues out too far. Turn around on this time. Secret finally making a good exchange.
Yeah, that Pycat just getting a bit too overzealous there, knowing he's like, oh, I've killed the Weaver, let's just chase for more. I can see this bounty, and he, in his chase, loses the gem there as well. Is bad news for Na'Vi, losing that detection for both the Weaver and the Bounty Hunter. Cat will be probably getting reprimanded for that one later on, but as it stands, this game's still very winnable for Na'Vi. Just need to find that big team fight that we've seen a few times from them.
Tier 2s up in here.
Radiant's top tower.
Second timer of Pycats. Look like they feel anyone's gonna pop his head out. They do feel comfortable. Is coming back.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I wonder if there's any consideration towards getting a Ags on Weaver, like in the late game. Yeah, MPs needs to do damage, but at the same time, like against all these big teamfight spells, being able to save someone like mid one with an Ags time lapse seems like a very useful thing to have. Like, to me, Ags Weaver is like almost a necessity to be able to push and fight into Na'Vi, unless you're finding pickoffs. Problem is, it's MP playing the like carry role and not really an item you want to buy as a Weaver.
All over the Roshan pit, and going to be turning. They don't know that they did get a successful scan around the Roshan pit, but Secret aren't actually there. Trying to make their way over. Here it is being done right now. On up for another minute.
Rubik gets his Ag Scepter, so See what he can manage to steal in these upcoming fights. And the focus spells, the Centaur Stun or Stampede would be really nice. The track we've seen a few times get stolen as well. Just the Bloodlust. Bloodlust onto your Magnus or your Void, at least at the start of the fight, would be pretty handy to have. But right now, Na'Vi really need to regain this map control. Losing that gem now also means that there's these deep observer woods up right outside their base. They're starting to ping them, and it seems like they know they've got a new gem on General, so... well, it's an old gem of Pyrelight Eyes. It looks like the two teams have swapped gems. This will take away some of that Na'Vi vision, and Na'Vi need that vision to find and isolate these heroes for pickoffs, because that's how they approach these fights. They've got to burst one down at the start of the fight, outside of like the big team fight spells, before they can look to approach Na'Vi head on.
Dendi will now finish up that Orchid. Still has enough for buyback. Na'Vi check the pit. Roshan is up. They can try and do it with... unfortunately, Pycat doesn't have any life steals, so he doesn't have a lot of sustain, but they might just be able to do it with 1 or 2 inside the pit. Surrounding, but I guess with MP bottom...
Yeah, Secret have lost their vision completely in the area, so... I think just due to the map control concerns, it's not worth contesting, and you try and fight around your high ground advantage if Na'Vi try and press the issue. Off of this, they've got Aegis and Cheese on Pycat though, so he's that frontliner who often has been able to get burst down by like a well-timed stomp into Invoker combo. May cease case though due to these new pickups.
Good one looks for another pick, but Puppey does see a couple of rotating heroes. The Highlight Dice going to be jumped on by the Burrow Strike. They're going to be able to follow up that stun. Viver gets picked off in the meantime. MP still trying to fight this one out with RMN with his physical damage, and now a 2-man tornado into the Sunstrike. Sunstrike not really hitting there. RMN used his own Dual Scepter to try and buy himself time, but he is still going to go down. But on the other side of things, Kezu is being very disruptive. Right in front of all of Na'Vi, does manage to disrupt them and keep them from pursuing the rest of Secret. And it looks like they're low enough HP. They can't actually do much here. Pycat's trying to turn. Does have the Aegis, but he doesn't really have the mana to back it up. He does get a time lapse off. Does a lot of damage, but as an EMP coming in, Pycat's just going to pop the BKB, hoping to save the Aegis for another time, but a Sunstrike, ooh, a little bit too far forward. Mid one misses that one, but Kezu does manage to hit him with the Chivas. Pycat does get a little bit more distance with the time walk, but his silence comes out. Surely they're going to be able to get Pycat 25 HP. The Aegis stays alive somehow for Na'Vi.
I can't really blame Secret for not chasing Kameen for that. They're so afraid and respecting the Dendi RP. If they somehow dive or group up a little bit, if Dendi's blink is up and he gets that 2-man RP, suddenly there's a turn. Suddenly Void, he may have 20 HP, but if both those heroes are RP'd, he can turn, fight, cleave him down. Same for the Magnus, so showing some respect there to what Dendi can pull out. And it was a very disconnected fight, because there was the fight in the bottom lane, the fight around the shrine. The two supports, both Rubik and Ogre, just seem to be getting bullied every single time at the start of the fight, although Pylite somehow still survived. Biver just seems to be getting picked apart. It's a very hard game to play because there's Bounty, Weaver, there's all these gap closers. It's so hard to stay hidden as a Rubik, and getting any spells in these fights seems to be very challenging for him.
Smoke time?
Smoke into the Aegis. They want to catch Na'Vi by surprise. Get that jump.
Mid one is going to confront the rest of them, and it looks like Secret are going to wrap around here. They might catch RMN, they might not. Feeling that.
Oh, Courier.
Initiation.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
That's the Pycat Lincolns. And
he really needs that Lincolns.
I don't think they want to fight straight 5v5, so they're going to go for the split push mid one, Forward Spirit's Alacrity will threaten the high ground while Na'Vi threaten the tier 2 tower. So yeah, Na'Vi will have to back off for this. For now, only TPing a Rubik, so they've still got 4 heroes down bottom who theoretically could take a 4v5 fight. They TP out or...
possible. They've got the vision. General's sitting on the high ground with a ward.
They don't want to go high though.
Yeah, he's not the hero they want to go on. They do see Kezu here, and they're going to chrono Kezu. Now, trying to blow him up inside of this one, make sure he doesn't get off the Stampede, controlling him as much as possible. Dendi tries to make his initiation, but immediately gets countered. Kezu's still alive. Now he gets off the Stampede. Disaster strikes for Na'Vi. Completely misreading how they could take down Kezu, and Dendi getting caught as he tries to make his second initiation. That'll be the Aegis, and that'll probably be a wipe here. Not sure how Pycat's going to be able to get away, especially without that Lincoln's. Gets instantly sight the vice, just like Dendy did. And Secret, huge win. Turn it into a push.
That was a very all-in play from Na'Vi to try to focus down the center of all heroes, and they know there's so much damage mitigation from his Stampede that they want to take him out, and they're happy to solo chrono him, but there's also damage mitigation coming from a Solar Crest Glimmer Cape. The Glimmer Cape from Puppey and the Solar Crest kept Kezu alive, and it's not just the Stampede you've got to worry about. The fact that Sankin was just sitting on that cliff waiting to follow up the chrono. They used Epicenter Chrono and the Leshrac on a Centaur they couldn't even kill. And now Na'Vi are going to be, with their back against the wall, lose their first lane of racks. They don't want to buy back Dendy. He's got that low respawn time, but going to be further damage to their base. No easy RPs.
Versus 5. They may just have to. 30 seconds left. Secret may just go after this melee rack straight up to the top lane.
Mid one is so well positioned. He's always out of vision, never lets Dendy see him. Ever since that one fight where Dendy solo RP'd him, I think he's caught onto the fact that Dendy is just solely waiting to find mid one with an RP, and he stays so far back that even if Dendy manages to get onto him, it's like you've dived way past the main line, the front lines, and you put yourself in a terrible position where you're not going to kill mid one. So making it damn near impossible to get the RP Dendy wants.
Skewer, but there goes the time lapse. Stampede also being used. Stolen Stampede on a Ags Rubik. That is a huge pickup.
Time to run if you're Secret, probably. With more so because of the respawns, but that Stampede also poses a bit of an issue. And you've just taken 2 full lanes of racks. Like you're in no rush right now. Don't need to force a bad fight, having just won a fantastic one.
With 2 full lanes of racks up, as they did both those mixes. Amount of gold too. Once upon a time, Na'Vi had about a 10,000 gold lead, and they're winning back-to-back team fights. Now it's Secret, we're holding more than a 10,000 gold lead and have almost evened up the experience. That was so much in the favor of Na'Vi that it still has not dipped down into Secret's favor.
That is. I mean, Na'Vi had a very strong mid game, but all it took was a poor fight at bottom to lose a lot of that edge they had. And now with the racks down, it's going to be Secret playing from a very advantageous position. Puppey's got the Greaves, all the team fight pieces coming together. Pilot even gets like a casual Aether Lens with some extra pass range to make sure he can get some of his spells off.
You get him with the telekinesis and the chronosphere, so he may end up dying here, but here comes that damage mitigation. The Glimmer Cape trying to save him long enough. The bash comes out, but there goes the time lapse. Now Dendy, he needs to find a good RP to be able to save this fight, but it doesn't look like it's possible. Pycat is also going to go down. RMN, his BKB wears out towards the tail ends of his TP. He ends up getting stopped by the Sight device, and now it's Dendy and General against the world.
Yep.
I'm not sure if it's going to be possible for these two.
General gets away from mid one, but yeah, holding this racks looks damn near impossible. Secrets, like the support items, to me is what is winning every single fight. Having these Glimmer Capes, having the Greaves, the Solar Crest. The Solar Crest on numerous occasions has kept alive whoever's been chronosphered, and it really has been the difference maker, the fact that Puppey and Pi have done so much.
Here comes that Epicenter, Burst Strike just on the Puppey, and that's not even going to be enough to finish him off in general. Going to be Sight the Vice, and looks like he should go down here. Dendy makes his way back to the fountain, tries to get a skewer, but and actually last one time. GG called from Na'Vi, despite a promising mid-game with all those team fights and big-time abilities. Na'Vi wound up losing the Secret to 3-2-0 and are eliminated from PAC.
Well, Na'Vi, they had a tough group, a strong showing, I would say. I mean, they took down Secret 2-1 in the initial match. We're versing a Bears team who was a complete mystery, but very well known that this was a potential top tier 1 European squad. So I think Na'Vi are going to be feeling a bit unlucky with the group they got. They would have much rather been in Group B. They would have much rather been probably in the CIS qualifiers. But even so, I think the takeaway for Na'Vi is still like, you got to keep your heads high. They played a really good series, a couple of series earlier on in the tournament. This series, couple close games, they just got outplayed by Secret. And as for Secret, a great way to bounce back. I mean, this is a team who has had to fight their way through the lower bracket of this DAC group and have done so very convincingly.